says either the heart's too muscular, or it's a little dilated, or just some of the electrical system's a little frayed in there. You and I are a little young to have kind of the frayed electrical current, so we just need to make sure stuff's good. So they did a stress test on you, and then they talked about going to, which could be anything, right? It could be a left heart cath, or it could be an ablation. But it doesn't sound like you were having that much atrial fib at the time. So I wonder if they saw something on your stress test or worried about chest pain, shortness of breath.
No, not chest pain. It's just shortness of breath feeling, I guess, when AFib comes on. But in general, I don't have shortness of breath. I don't have any tightening or pain in my chest.
When you're exerting yourself, walking stairs?
Yeah, I walk a lot. I could probably walk, just for my job, I walk probably 1 to 3 miles a day.
Good.
I lost 19 pounds in the last 5 months.
Don't rub it in.
Yeah. Well, I always wanted to be around 200 pounds and I've always would fluctuate between 192 to 196, and now I'm down to 176.
I'm still gaining since COVID, but
Yeah,
I think I took on a big chocolate habit to work with it. My wife's like, do you really need all that chocolate? I said, obviously I do.
Yes, that's right.
To deal with all this other stuff going on in the world. Good there. You haven't passed out with any of this.
No, sir.
Feet aren't swelling.
No, sir.
And never smoked, so that's good.
No.
Has anyone? I guess they've got blood work on you at some point.
Yeah, but it was.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
One thing we'll do, I have thyroid issues that kind of sets off my atrial fib sometimes. So we're going to look at all your blood work. We're going to look at your electrolytes. You want a magnesium on him.
You got it.
And I would go ahead, CBC.
I'm just gonna get everything.
Yeah, thyroid. One thing I want to try to do is I'm going to get someone to ultrasound your ticker for me, just to see what your heart function looks like. I just need to figure out, and I'm going to examine you. I can
That's
kinda
cool.
tell, but I'm going to basically come back and go, well, is this a muscular heart, or is this just, you got some, a lot of folks can get left on a branch block for really no reason, but we still have to watch and make sure we know that. That's not my fairy godmother. It's been
No,
going
it's
on.
that's all right. I got the same deal.
It's been going off. I'm just like, I'm having phone fatigue. And then mix in the car warranty people, and I'm just like.
Yeah, I know. I work at Southwest Ford, and I'm in used car, and they do their inventory control, and.
That's stressful right now.
Yeah, well, right now it is, because we've got. At first, we had a huge loss of inventory, and then we had a huge influx because we were buying everything under the sun.
Yeah, what you could get.
And now sales have kind of peaked, because there was no new car inventory. Everybody's looking at used. Well, the prices just went stupid, and then you just kind of get to a point where people aren't going to pay beyond this point. And now it's kind of peaked and it's kind of going down. It's not bad, but boy, it's.
All my car guys are stressed right now. Either they can't get what they need, or they get it. They're having to go to people and say, "Okay, this used car is priced $10,000."
Oh yeah.
And they're like, so you can buy a new car for the price of some of the used cars.
Yeah, but you can't get the new car because it's not out there, right?
The U.S. Ford, GM should just be taking over the chip business.
I would agree. It's just like it's a snowball effect. I was talking to one of the reps for our certification, and he said, the challenge is Ford last year when they freaked out. So they said, we're not going to order the chips. So now you go to Taiwan and the chip manufacturer, okay, well, we don't need all these raw goods we thought. Then on the U.S. side, everybody started buying, and so they're like, oh, no, we want it. Okay, well, then that's it's like slowing down a train. It's just a process to get it back up to speed.
Yeah, it didn't just happen overnight.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately. But you're right.
I wish I knew how to build chips. I'd be building you guys chips.
Yeah.
Whoever builds the chip has a lot of liability for how that car operates on the road.
Yeah, they do.
So they have to be really, it's kind of like a lot of truck stops now don't want to work on brakes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, who's going to work on them? whoever's willing to take the risk.
Yeah, jeez. Golly.
So I think that's the problem with chips too, is only the folks who have a good track record of making those things. So we're good there. I need labs. That EKG shows that you were in atrial fib. Was that just one time or a one shot deal or?
Yes. It, like I said, that was the day that it came on, and it pretty much was all from about 12:35 on till I went to bed. Well, my stepdaughter works for my primary care, and so I called her, and she said, "Yeah, come on in. We're gonna run one on you."
Yeah.
And but that's the only time that they've actually, when it was actively happening, that I've ever had an EKG done.
Okay, you got it done. There's a score we do called a chance VAS score. You come out around a 1. If you had any sort of vascular plaque in you anywhere, it'd be a 2. That's not the highest risk for strokes, but there's a big stroke risk with atrial fib. Then
Yeah,
it
I've heard.
comes and goes. So that even at a 1 or a 2, most people would say at age 60, we want to do everything we can to protect our head.
Right.
You know. My dad was on blood thinners, he was on Coumadin, and bled in his head. But still, it was a right thing for him to do, and it wasn't like it was elevated. It was just bad timing, hit his head with a pool or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, most of your rhythm guys would put you on one of the newer blood thinners like Eliquis or something. Aspirin just doesn't protect as
Sure.
well. So usually what we would do is until we know there's plaque in you, we'd switch out the aspirin for something like Eliquis. So if you're just as likely to bleed on full dose aspirin as you are with some of these other ones.
Sure.
And so until we kind of know the burden of atrial fib in you,
Mm-hmm.
I'd switch that over to Eliquis. That's my first thing. We are going to put a monitor on you and just make sure we know what that rhythm's doing.
Sure.
And so for 7 days, I'm going to want you to wear a monitor.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to get an echo. Lab and then I'm trying to just not do a lot here. Let's focus on what our questions are. I would just start with that. I would start with 7-day monitor, echo, and get his labs. Now, I'm always going to be a prevention guy over here.
Okay.
So one thing I want you to do at some point is go to one of these radiologists like Gateway and have them just do a screening CAT scan. They're going to tell me how much plaque and coronary plaque they see in your heart. I really want that number. I don't have any way of seeing it.
Sure.
And so if it comes back and there's a lot of plaque in there and you happen to have had an abnormal stress test in the past, we have to figure out how we're going to move forward.
Sure.
Let's say there's a lot of plaque in there. I'm not going to make you repeat a stress test. We'll get one of the radiology groups to do a real coronary CT and just go look at your ticker. But let's start with the basics. Let's get the echo, the monitor.
Yes, sir.
I would say yes to a little Eliquis, because that was some pretty nasty atrial fib out there, which means you're probably having 1 or 2 episodes a month.
Mm-hmm.
What happens is the atria should be sitting there beating in this sequence with the ventricle.
Yes, sir.
Atrial fib just makes it quiver.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
you get a clot and
And then it goes to your head.
goes to your head or someplace else.
Yeah.
I had a little 4-year-old guy he threw one to his spleen and one to his kidney, knocked his kidney out.
Oh, geez.
So everybody thinks that they all have to go
I was going to
up.
say, you think it's going to be your brain. It can go to another organ.
I mean, if you're standing and walking, it might just
Mhm.
come on around the arch and then distribute itself out. So let's go ahead and protect you.
Yes, sir.
You're going to come off the aspirin for now.
I also mentioned to the first girl that was in here.
Jessica?
Yes. So I have a tooth issue. Crown fell off a couple years ago, and I really never went. Well, I'm going to find out that it is now infected. Now, this, interestingly enough, the X-ray. I went last Thursday to the same dentist, and so he X-rayed it. And he wasn't the one that actually did the original root canal, which was back in 2015. But he's now looking at it, and normally you have a tooth and you have 2 main roots that come out. Like, no kidding. The picture on this, It looked like an octopus. It's 3 different routes. One going one way, one going the other, but one goes straight up. And he said, see how it goes up into that void? That's your sinus cavity.
Yeah.
He said, so you probably have infection from that. It's now into your sinus cavity. No kidding. I've dealt with the migraines. I kind of wonder if some of them are onset, because I'll wake up when it's really bad, if sinus issues. I'll wake up and it's all I can do because my sinuses hurt from this. So I went yesterday to my primary care. He called in a antibiotic. I don't know if this matters for you guys.
No,
I just wanted to let you know. They've called in, and I don't even know the name of the.
They got you an antibiotic.
Yes,
They're
sir.
gonna take care of that.
Yes, sir.
Are they gonna pull that tooth or something at some point? Or?
Well, I'm supposed to go to an oral surgeon, but I can't get in till the 20th of September. So,
Okay. We're gonna keep you kind of because that's inflammation.
Yes, sir.
Begets clots, so we're gonna keep you thinned out until then.
Okay.
And we'll either hold it, or some oral surgeons will actually work on your tooth while you're on a blood thinner.
Yeah.
And so let's get you protected.
So for pre-op, would we go ahead and put like he's able to pull this, or it would be better if he was on it?
Better if he could keep it, but if he needs to, just no more than 48 hours. And I won't check your pulses and stuff.
Okay.
When it gets fresh. Okay, he got good pulses. You work that. I'm just gonna listen to you. I won't invade your privacy. That's all right.
So then,
Yeah, you guys got a lot going at Southwest Florida. I'm not sure how often he's up there roaming around.
Quite a bit.
Does he manage?
Mm-hmm.
Micromanage?
I can take my shirt off if you want.
No, you're good.
Okay.
I'm gonna listen. You just don't laugh. You don't want every day at work to be just utterly stressful.
True.
I didn't realize how many days you guys work. Good. Yeah. Listen to your lungs.
Okay.
Good old deep breath. Blow it out. In. Yeah. I'm gonna make you get up here and lie back because I gotta listen to
Okay.
your belly. I just want to hear you before you go moving. Okay, get up here and I'll let you lie back. Don't go to sleep or I'll be jealous. One question
I got news for you.
we have to always ask, atrial fibrillation and sleep apnea go hand in hand. If there's any chance that you're snoring, I mean, you've lost weight, so if you did, you're probably better.
Yeah, my wife says when I do, it's pretty light.
Okay.
Because we talked
Just
about it.
be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Now, I'm gonna listen to your belly, so now I'm gonna really get pressure.
Well,
Listen.
yep.
We'll listen to your ticker too. So, his aorta is normal size. We'll listen to your heart somewhere. Now, we expect to hear some light murmurs in folks just because valves are just little parachutes that catch stuff. So you have a little bit of leak of the tricuspid valve. Very mild. Get your neck right there. Don't have just yet. Good. So you can get up. So we're going to pressure this out to look out. Feel good.
so would we need lowers for the oral surgery?
Yeah, oral surgery. Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
But I want to make sure. I just want to see how fast I can get echo on him.
Okay.
Calcium score. That's good to monitor on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and put him on
Eliquis 5 BID.
Eliquis 5 twice a day, come off the aspirin, and things you want to kind of. She's been with me 2 years, so she's trying to take my job. Things you want to think about in the future will be: is he going to need something for rate control? Let's get the monitor first and see what his rhythm is.
Yeah.
He may be running 40 and 50 all the time, so you make him feel bad.
Well, he's on Toberol already.
Yeah. It's just, you want to watch his blood pressure and everything else. So whatever he's got, we want to make sure it's working for him. Check his thyroid, CBC, get a magnesium. What else? And then let's try to see if we can get those old results. So you're over at Heart Place, they'll have those.
Yeah, and it's funny because I was trying to remember the secondary guy that I got referred to.
Could have been one of their rhythm guys. They have a central. I've been around since '94, so I've been in and out.
Oh, okay.
I've been in all those doors.
Yeah.
Used to be Gottlich in Dallas was the old Heart Place guy. All my guys are almost dead and died off.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad. So let's try to get whatever they did over there, stress test wise, and then let's use it with the calcium score, and we'll go from there.
Perfect.
And then get him back in here, like as soon as we can get the echo and everything, we'll drag you back up here in the line.
That'll work.
We're gonna put you on an app called PMD. That way you can talk to me.
Okay.
That way if something's weird or if you're sensing something, you can talk to me and say, hey, look, I hadn't had an echo yet, but I'm short of breath, or I'm having a lot more atrial fib, or I'm bruising, I'm bleeding all the time. I want you to be able to yak at me. So
I'm curious on these apps, no kidding, I told her 2 days ago, I found out that this does an ECG on me, and I'm like going, how accurate is something like that on your
pretty
watch?
close.
Is it really?
Cardios are pretty close. It detects the irregularity of the little EKG spikes, and it can be pretty darn good.
I was trying to think, where the heck are they all? I've only just started doing these things.
Is that the new iPhone 10 or 6 or?
This is the 11 and this is the 4. So this is, I think, the first iteration where you could actually do an ECG on it. Have you ever seen it? How it works?
I have. I went up and looked at it at one of the places. You really need to have your newer iPhones to.
Yeah, and this was the 11 Pro, and they said this is the one you should have. I'm about to get whatever's about to come out, 13. But
it's expensive. It's an expensive truck and bass boat. You got to buy them both.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. If you're gonna do this, you need this. Okay, great. But I mean, these are, I don't know if these are something you want to look at or not. The only one that was weird, which I did this on the 21st. This one here, and this is, I don't know how off the chart, on the chart, or anything else.
Yeah, you're getting some artifact with it, but I'm still seeing some P waves with it, so I'm still seeing sinus.
Okay.
So yeah, this is just motion. That's artifact.
Yeah, and it's like you cannot, when you do this, you have to keep your finger on the crown, and it's like, don't move, don't even think about moving. And it's for 30 seconds. But
I'm a little angry they didn't fix it where it would just randomly check. Really
the only thing it'll do it is pulse rate. That it'll do. I can do. Let's see.
Can you set it to alarm you if it's up so you can then check an EKG really quick?
I think it sets an alarm if your pulse just rests over like 120.
Okay.
My pulse is average, according to this, my pulse rate average is 73.
Okay. So just make a note of that. So based on this Apple Watch. So that's good. Let's make some of this stuff happen.
Yep.
I'm going to go get you Eliquis and some cards. You're young, so you should be able to get it pretty damn cheap.
Okay.
For old folks, Medicare age, Uncle Sam doesn't let them negotiate prices right now. Which is it'd be like somebody coming into you to buy a truck and you can give them all sorts of neat stuff and they're 60. The minute they're 66, you're like, no, you got to pay wholesale. Well, not wholesale, but you got to pay whatever else. Yeah, retail. And that's just criminal because you and I are 5 years away from that. I'm gonna go get you.
Yeah, really.
I'll get you some other. I'll worry about it. I'm thinking I'm gonna be stuck right in the middle of all this.
Oh, I know my mom and dad visited a couple months back, and my mom just turned 80, and so did my dad. And they're like, so have you They said, so, you're 2 years away from Medicare. And that's really when it hit me. Holy crap, I'm getting old.
It scares me too.
Yeah.
So
Jeez. Thank you, sir.
All right, so you're good to go.
Okay.
Here's some samples. Everything will be scheduled at the front except for that calcium
Perfect.
score. Gateway will call you for that.
Okay, is Gateway local here or is they?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
But there's gateways everywhere, but there's one in town.
Excellent. All right, I'm sorry, your first name?
If we do a calcium score,
Yes, sir.
we can do it here in town. Gateway, so I mean, you.
Yes, well, I was just asking about it.
Yeah, Gateway actually does a more thorough look than my
Okay.
place over close to you in Arlington.
Got it.
So I'm gonna bug them and they'll set you up the time and like.
Okay.
It's a quick thing. No, I-
Sorry, guys.
You're just gonna figure it out if you're in the right place. Not you, her. She just said she thinks she's in the right place. I'm like, sounds like this on a hike.
Just making you feel good.
I don't think she meant. I think it was sarcasm.
No, I'm saying you're in the right place.
I've heard that before. Well, I hope you guys start getting all your chips.
Yeah. No kidding.
No one even predicted that.
No. Especially us. Charlie's, he's on the board of NADA. And,
He's on all those national. I don't
yeah.
know how he has time to do it.
He's probably one of the nicest dealers I've ever worked for.
Good.
And I've been doing this since 1988, so,
That's actually good. No, I don't know how he does it almost.
yeah. Well, his son Steven pretty much runs more the day-to-day on all his stores. They just bought another store in Stephenville, Ennis. So they've got their hands in quite a few pies.
That's a lot though.
Oh, yeah, it is.
So, sir, you're good to go.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, I sent that prescription for you.
Okay, perfect.
Activate that card.
Okay.
Eloquence is a twice a day medicine.
All right,
So go ahead and just hold your aspirin for now.
okay,
Just do the Eloquence. And you'll keep your beta blocker, but just exchange aspirin for this.
got it. Understood.
If you ever start noticing, these things are good at kind of screening out problems. So if you happen to have a little polyp that's really irritated, if you happen to have an early little stomach cancer, these things are really good at irritating them. And if you see some blood in your stools, we got to go look at it. So these
Okay.
things can actually be diagnostic of stuff you don't
Interesting,
know about.
really?
So if you start coming up with any blood in your stools or anything else, you're going to call me and say, hey.
Absolutely. Oh, the monitor thing, how does that work?
Oh, they'll schedule that at the front too.
Okay.
Yeah, they try to do it the same, hopefully they can do it the same day as your echo, that way you don't have to make multiple trips.
Got it.
Yeah, and then
Got it.
they'll also schedule a follow-up after all the testing.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who did you see today?
Amanda?
What's your last name?
Right, W-R-I-T.
And it would just be for test results.
Okay, so see his PA, what's his name?
Clark, Michael Clark.
Oh, Michael, okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. This is the first time I've been here anyway, so.
He works right alongside Newman though, so.
Okay.
Everything that happens in that appointment, Newman will know about. He might even poke in for a minute.
That's cool, man. What,
Let's see. I don't have any mornings a week that I need you to come in. They're all afternoons.
okay.
Which would be Wednesday, September the 22nd is what I'm looking at.
Okay, so we go Wednesday, September 22nd.
And my first afternoon is 1:30.
Just 22nd at 1:30. 1:30 p.m. Appointment. Follow up.
Would that work for you?
Yes.
I've never, we don't ever do some of the products, but yeah.
What is it?
She needs to have the alternative
Hmm?
of extremity.
Yes.
I see them in here,
Uh-huh.
but I don't see one that says upper extremity.
Okay, let me see. Give me 1 moment.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Helping you in the store.
Okay, let me get these off the printer for you.
Okay, that'll work.
And then you'll be good to go, okay?
Okay.
It'll be bilateral upper. Here you go.
Okay. Now, just for future reference for me, when I come in, is it the normal copay each time, so $100? So that was what I had to pay this first time.
It'll be your normal copay.
Or my okay, whatever my normal copay. Okay,
Yes.
that will work. Thank you.
You're welcome.